Can you go into digital assets and sort of this trend toward tokenization?
It's a really important trend. It's one of the megatrends. We identified a series of megatrends about a year ago.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having an awesome day no matter where you're tuning in from around the world. Today we're diving into XRP, and I had to start with this incredible insight from Paul Barron that's got me really excited. He's saying XRP is going to completely replace traditional finance in just the next few years. And here's why that makes total sense. Think about it. XRP is the only major asset out there without a counterparty risk. It's literally the bridge asset that's routing all these trades behind the scenes that we never even see. And here's the kicker. Every single new stablecoin and real-world asset that launches actually increases XRP usage automatically. Pretty wild, right? We're talking about banks, blockchain apps, lending platforms, on-chain money movement. And guess what's sitting right at the center of it all? XRP, making everything instant. Now here's what's really interesting. Everyone was convinced that stablecoins were going to kill XRP. But plot twist. All these stablecoins are actually going to need a bridge to function properly. Same exact story with real-world assets. When tokenization really takes off and we see all that massive value flooding onto these different networks and cryptocurrencies, they're still going to need to move those assets from point A to point B seamlessly. And that's exactly where our investment comes in. Every single one of these developments just adds more value to what we're holding. All right, everyone, this is huge. Swift's ISO 222 migration just went live, and we need to talk about what this means for XRP and Stellar's XLM. Can these two powerhouses actually dominate in this brand new payments era? Let's break it down. So articles are flooding in now that ISO 222 is officially here, and there's some confusion we need to clear up right away. Here's the deal. ISO 222 is all about standardizing how financial data gets exchanged between institutions. But here's what's important. It doesn't actually certify cryptocurrencies directly. Now, both Ripple and Stellar are technically aligned with ISO standards, but they're not officially certified yet. And this is where it gets really interesting. Here's how this actually works. If a network like Ripple or Stellar gets certified to work within these ISO messages, they can actually include cryptocurrencies in those transactions. So get this, the cryptocurrency itself might not be what you'd call compliant on paper, but it could still be used and integrated into the system. Pretty clever workaround, right? This opens up some massive possibilities for both XRP and XLM that we need to dive into. And this is exactly where so many people get it completely wrong. They're out there saying, oh, there's no such thing as an ISO cryptocurrency, but they're missing the bigger picture here. Since the networks that these cryptos run on are ISO compliant, guess what? The cryptocurrencies can absolutely still be used within that system. It's all about the infrastructure, people. Now I know what a lot of you are thinking. Hey, we didn't see any crazy price action on day one, so maybe ISO isn't that big of a deal after all. But here's the thing. I've been telling you guys from the beginning that we'd see one of two scenarios play out. Either we get that massive spike right out of the gate, or, and this is what I think is more likely, we see this steady, gradual upward movement with some nice spikes scattered throughout as more and more banks actually start adopting and using ISO messaging in their daily operations. Think about it. This isn't going to be an overnight switch. Banks don't move that fast. But as they gradually integrate this new system and realize how much more efficient it is, that's when we start seeing the real value creation happen. But here's what I know for sure. At some point, crypto is absolutely going to be integrated within ISO messaging. And speaking of that, we just got some breaking news. CoinMarketCap just dropped a list of 16 ISO-compliant cryptocurrencies. And guess who's sitting pretty at number one? That's right. XRP. Let me walk you through this list real quick because it's actually pretty exciting. XRP takes the top spot. XLM comes in at number 2. Then we've got Hedera at number 3, and the list goes on from there. Now here's what's crazy. Literally every single cryptocurrency that we've been talking about on this channel over and over again made it onto this list. I mean, we called these picks way ahead of time. The one that's got me scratching my head though is Flare. It's not on this list right now, but I know for a fact that Flare is going to be compliant. Maybe they just haven't updated it yet. I also see ICP on here, Internet Computer, and that's one I honestly missed talking about a few times, kicking myself on that one. And Sologenic made the list too, which I think I mentioned before because I had a feeling it would end up here. The last three on the list? Yeah, I never really covered those at all on the channel. But here's the bottom line. These are the cryptocurrencies that are positioned to be included in actual ISO messages when transactions happen. And the fact that CoinMarketCap went ahead and created this official ISO 222 coins list, that tells me they know there's serious value in these projects. All right, this update from Smoke is absolutely massive, so pay attention. The industry is expecting digital asset activity to seriously take off soon after this ISO 222 switch we just talked about. And get this, observers are saying that attention is going to shift big time in early 2026. We're talking about experiments with tokenized securities, on-chain settlement models, and even early central bank digital currency frameworks that can actually work together. That's literally next year, people. Here's why this matters so much. ISO's structured data model is basically viewed as the prerequisite that's going to allow traditional banks and institutions to actually interact with digital asset systems through standard fields and consistent formats. What they're basically telling us is that we will eventually see serious value come from all of this. And it looks like things are going to really accelerate early next year. But here's the kicker, and this is huge. According to Swift themselves, banks have to fully adopt ISO first before they can even think about adopting blockchain technology. So blockchain adoption is directly tied to this new messaging standard. This completely destroys that false narrative that some people keep pushing that ISO 222 has nothing to do with blockchain. Swift is literally saying the banking industry has to adopt ISO before it can adopt blockchain for payments. And this is probably exactly how banks are going to get onboarded to blockchain technology in the first place. Now here's what's really interesting. Look at all the things that happened right around the time ISO went live. The FDIC suddenly gets involved with ensuring digital assets are protected. Banks get the green light to start working with digital assets just before ISO launches. Come on, you think that's all just a coincidence? I don't think so. This was coordinated. This was planned. Check this out. Okay, everyone, this next clip is absolutely mind-blowing, and you need to hear this. We're talking about the CEO of Bank of New York Mellon. And just so you understand how massive this isn't just any bank. This is literally the oldest bank in America. We're talking about the largest custody bank in the entire world, managing $53 trillion. Let that sink in for a second. $53 trillion. These guys are one of the most widely used service providers in all of traditional finance. When they talk, the entire financial world listens. And honestly, it's hard to imagine a simpler or clearer sign that crypto is about to go completely mainstream than what you're about to hear from this CEO. Seriously, this is huge. Take a listen to this.
Can you go into digital assets and sort of this trend toward tokenization and how that plays into the business model a bit?
Yeah, sure, Carl. It's a really important trend. It's one of the megatrends. We identified a series of megatrends about a year ago, and we said we want to position our business, invest in those capabilities that will allow us to benefit from those megatrends. Because while we want to drive and are driving organic growth, we also want to make sure that we're attaching ourselves to these big market cycles, and digital assets is one of them. Now, that's not just stablecoins, it's also tokenization, and it really is across the ecosystem. So we've been investing around the ecosystem for using our traditional assets and then evolving our traditional business assets to be able to be on-chain as well.
And here's what's happening. They all want to come on-chain, one after another. We're literally about to watch banks dive headfirst into tokenization. Here's how this is going to play out. They're going to start with stablecoins first, because that feels safe and familiar to them. But then, and this is the beautiful part, they're going to transition right into cryptocurrencies. Why? Because stablecoins are basically the gateway drug to crypto. And honestly, I think that's exactly why Ripple launched RLUSD in the first place. They saw this coming a mile away. Now let me show you something that's going to blow your mind. No sugarcoating here. SBI has made their intentions crystal clear about their Evernorth fund. The goal isn't just to hold XRP, they want to actively boost its asset value. I'm talking about their latest shareholder presentation, slides 7 through 158, and they literally spell it out right there. They want to push the price of XRP higher, and here's the kicker. They're not planning to sell that XRP either. These guys are true long-term holders. We're talking about locking XRP away for 10 years at a time. And here's what you need to understand. Institutions don't look at crypto the way we do as retail investors. I keep telling you guys, you need to think like an institution. When institutions buy crypto, they don't care what price they bought it at. They don't care if it's up or down the next day. They need to have it, so they buy it and lock it away. And it's not like they're going to panic sell just because the price pumped. No, they're going to actually use this cryptocurrency for what it was designed for, moving money and value all around the world instantly and efficiently. That's the real game here. Whoa, hold up. We just saw $400 million worth of XRP get dumped in just 48 hours. That's absolutely massive. XRP got hit by one of the most aggressive sell waves we've seen all year. On-chain data is showing us that major whale wallets just offloaded nearly 200 million XRP. We're talking about roughly $400 million worth in just 2 days. But here's what I keep thinking about, and this is really interesting. We know scarcity is coming for XRP, especially with these ETFs on the horizon, right? So here's how it usually works. When we retail investors start selling, the whales typically swoop in and buy up all our XRP. But soon, it's going to be institutions doing that buying instead. But here's the million-dollar question I've been wrestling with. What happens when the OG XRP holders start selling off their bags? I'm talking about those massive whales who were accumulating tons of XRP way back before the 2017-2018 bull run even happened. My theory? I think the ETF issuers are going to absolutely devour that XRP too. So picture this. When these whales think they can play the market like they always have, dumping their XRP to manipulate prices, something different is going to happen this time. They're going to sell and boom, all that XRP just disappears into institutional hands permanently. I really think we're heading toward that exact scenario, and honestly, it's been on my mind a lot lately. What do you think about this theory? Are we about to see the whales get completely outplayed by institutional money? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you're thinking about this. All right, everyone, buckle up because the party's over. The IRS just announced they're launching major crackdowns on crypto, starting with 2025 tax filings. The IRS is officially closing the curtain on crypto's Wild West days. Starting with the 2025 filing year, they're rolling out strict new reporting requirements aimed directly at what they're calling tax cheats in the digital asset space. At the center of this whole crackdown is a new form called 1099-DA that crypto brokers have to file. They'll be reporting your sales, gains, and losses directly to the IRS. We're talking about centralized exchanges, some wallets, NFT marketplaces, and potentially even DeFi platforms, depending on how they interpret these rules. Now, here's how I look at this whole situation. We've always wanted crypto to have real value, right? Well, if the government wasn't taxing it, it wouldn't really have that value. The IRS only taxes things that are worth something, so in a weird way, this is actually validation. You can look at this in a couple different ways. Number one, yeah, I hate dealing with the IRS too, and I don't love this idea at all. But here's the thing. Even if you're not filing your crypto taxes, it doesn't matter anymore, because the exchanges are going to be filing on your behalf. They're going to report the crypto you're holding, whether you transacted, whether you traded one crypto for another, everything. But listen, this is all part of crypto reaching that mass adoption we've been waiting for. You can't have mass adoption without getting all the laws and regulations in place first, and that absolutely includes tax laws. Like I said in my video earlier today, crypto is maturing fast. And as it matures, a lot of people aren't going to like the rules that come with it. But that's exactly how you get to mass adoption. And with mass adoption comes serious wealth for those of us who beat everybody else to this space. The people getting in right now? They're still not too late to the party. But here's the thing. The institutions are coming, and everything is being put in place ahead of their arrival. You are so close to the finish line. Don't give up now. Let me show you something really interesting. The stages of a crypto trader. You've got dreamer, gambler, survivor, builder, and finally, operator. When you first got into crypto, you were definitely a dreamer, right? What was your first thought? I'm going to get rich in this space. For XRP investors who got in years ago, you had to be a real visionary. You had to see where this cryptocurrency could go in the future when nobody else could see it. But now, you don't need that vision anymore. You can literally see it happening in real time all around you. Then there's the gambler stage. Some people come into this space and throw money at meme coins because they think they're going to hit that 1000x overnight jackpot that everyone talks about. Sure, meme coins made some people rich over time, but let's be honest, most of them turned into rug pulls. Once regulations are fully in place, most meme coins are going to disappear. I think Doge will still be around, maybe Pepe, and a few others that gained real notoriety. But you're not going to see the rug pulls like we've had in the past. Next comes the survivor stage. These are the people who make it through the brutal dips, who have real patience. They eventually become builders, someone who constructs a solid portfolio, someone who understands that red days come and go and are usually followed by green days. And finally, the operator stage. This is where you've made it to financial freedom. You crossed the finish line. You became a legend in this space because you survived all the other stages. But here's what I've always said. If you're an XRP investor right now and you don't sell too soon, you will be a legend in the future. I'm telling you, some of the strongest hands in this entire space will be gone by the time XRP reaches $100. There's going to be so many people who sell on the way up to $100. But the price is going to keep climbing because adoption is still going to happen. Institutions are still going to flood into this space. You know what? There are tons of institutions sitting on the sidelines right now, wanting to get into crypto, but they can't because of the lack of regulations. They need those laws in place first, or they're never jumping in. Those are going to be the companies and names we'll hear about once regulations arrive. Right now, what we're seeing are just the first movers. Franklin Templeton, Goldman Sachs, Bank of America, JP Morgan, BlackRock. Soon you'll start hearing about regional banks creating crypto treasuries, getting involved with crypto, offering it to their customers. You're going to be here for all of that if you don't sell too soon. And as that happens, XRP's price is going to reflect that massive growth because we're going to see huge changes in XRP's price over the coming months. Here's the crazy part. You can't even utilize XRP for what it's actually built to do at these current price levels. It has to be so much higher to function properly. But like I always tell you, until it happens, stay patient, stay positive, and let's get wealthy together. All right, everyone, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you all so much for watching. I truly appreciate each and every one of you. I'll see you in the next video. Have an awesome night.